Hello, my name is Guadalupe Carrasco Cardona, and I'm going to be the professor of this class, CHLS 119, Introduction to Ethnic Studies. I'm very excited to embark upon this journey with you all. So I wanted to share a little bit about myself in advance, just so you can know who I am. I basically have been an educator for 22 years. I've taught high school and also higher education, having taught at Cal State Long Beach for the past several years. And I'm very excited to teach this class. I'm very excited about AB 1460, which was the legislation that made this graduation requirement for you all to be able to graduate from CSU. And so I kind of want to share a little bit about my educational background as well. And then I'm going to share a little bit more of my personal family background. Let's see, back in 1999, I graduated from UCLA with a degree in Chicano Studies and Latin American Studies. I went on to get my teaching credential, which I started at UCLA and then completed at Fresno State. And then after that, I got my master's degree from Arizona State University in Curriculum Instruction, Language and Literacy. And I'm beginning my doctorate degree currently this semester as well. And so I'll be earning that within the next 3 to 5 years. So I'm excited about that as well. But I wanted to now kind of share a little bit about who I am and where I came from. And I'm going to try to do that as quickly as possible. I was born in New Mexico to parents who were, Chicano migrant farm workers. So both of my parents worked on the seasonal farm worker circuit. My mother more so in the Southwest, like New Mexico, Utah, Idaho, and my dad more so in the Central Valley of California. But both of my families are from Mexico, mostly from Chihuahua, but I do have family from other parts of Mexico as well, like Tamaulipas, which is where one of my grandmothers was born. And so I really love studying not just Mexico, but Central America and really the world. I'm very much a person that is about international solidarity, which is why teaching ethnic studies is love and passion of mine. And so when I was a little girl, I left New Mexico when my parents got divorced. I was 2 or 3 years old, and I ended up in the Salinas Valley. So I lived in Salinas for a very short period of time. But due to the fact that one of my tias, my mom's sister, married somebody who was also a migrant farm worker. He was from Michoacan, but he would work Salinas and Oxnard, that circuit that is the strawberries, right? And so that landed us all in Oxnard. So I was raised mainly in Oxnard, but I've stayed very tied to my family from New Mexico, from El Paso, Texas, and from Phoenix, Arizona. And so I often am in those areas, and I love the communities there and my family that I have there as well. But ultimately, this is home for me, which is East Los Angeles. This is where I live with my two youngest children and my husband, who is an actor. And he loves living here as well, but he's originally from San Diego. And so yeah, so you're going to hear a lot about those experiences. They're going to come in to the content of the class as well as your experiences. So by the time we're done, we're all going to really kind of know a lot about one another, about our struggles, and then of course the histories and and about the people who are currently working in those struggles as well. So that's just a little bit of background. You'll get to know more, I promise, as we get further along in the class. But I also wanted to really urge you all to, log on to Beachboard and click around, get familiar with it. And I wanted to kind of tell you the structure of the class as I'm going to be structuring it for you all, so you can kind of feel that rhythm. I'm going to try to not veer off that sort of pattern. That way you'll never feel I don't know what I'm doing this week. I want it to be kind of consistent. And so essentially before class every single week, you're going to have a discussion board prompt that you're going to put in. That's going to be the first hour of class. So the first hour of class, you're not going to be logged onto Zoom. It's going to be asynchronous. So you could literally do it during that hour, or you could do it before then. And so it will essentially be a video that you're going to watch called Community Couch Time. And that Community Couch Time video always has a journal question or a journal discussion question embedded into it. So before class every single week, you will have watched the video, posted the question, and then class will begin an hour after class, the class time. So if class starts at 3 o'clock on the record, then it's going to actually start at 4 o'clock. once you've already completed the community couch time daily journal question on the discussion board within Beachboard. Then we're going to come to class. We're going to have lecture. That's where I'm going to be facilitating, but we're all going to be sharing and discussing. And the lecture is always going to be on the topic that's on the syllabus. And then you'll have homework after that. So as soon as I let you go from class, you're going to have readings. And I'm always going to create like a note catcher document. And so the note catcher is what you're going to use when you're reading to like capture your notes. So it's going to be my way of kind of helping you to be able to pay attention to certain things. And in the document on Beachboard, you're always going to see a rubric. So you're going to know exactly kind of like what I'm looking for. I'm looking for like analysis. I'm also looking for you making connections to either other readings or to other things going on in society, your experiences, or really just to anything, like making outside connections and explaining how that connects to the readings of that week. And then that's the way it's going to go. That document, that note catcher document, is the homework, which will get uploaded through Dropbox on Beachboard every week, the midnight before the next class. Okay, so the only other thing besides that you have to do is the midnight before the next class. I also want you to respond to 2 of your peers' community couch time daily journal questions. Okay, so once again, I'm going to repeat sort of like the same sort of rhythm every single week. So the first week might be a little kind of like, what's going on? But once you get that rhythm, you're going to notice that every single week we're going to kind of do the same thing. I really just want you to feel comfortable with having that heartbeat that repeats itself, that ultimately is going to help you to bring all the readings and all the discussions and everything together by the time the semester ends. And so your first assignment for right now, before school even starts, before the semester even starts, is to go onto the discussion board, introduce yourself, and it has on that discussion board all the things that you could kind of say about yourself. And you can upload a short video or upload a picture of yourself, which would be wonderful because then we can all get to know one another and see what one another looks like. So that's a little bit about the class. If you have any questions, feel free to use the student lounge, which is in the discussion board. You can always, throughout the entire semester, type questions in there and get responses from me or even from your peers. Like if there's another peer that knows the answer already, they're welcome to answer that as well. Well, thank you once again. I'm Guadalupe Carrasco Cardona. I'll be your professor, and I'm completely excited and looking forward to spending this time with you all. Thank you and goodbye.